The Community Call Center is a robust and feature-rich add-on that enables system admins to create groups of sales and support agents, or any team of users, that can take queue calls with live reporting and monitoring. The call center menu starts with real-time monitoring. The real-time monitor page displays information as it's happening in your queues and call center. You can get started by adding a panel with the Add Panels button. Select the queues that you want to add to your real-time view. You can rearrange the layout by simply dragging the tiles to their desired position and dropping them in place. Now that we've added some queues and arranged them, I can use the pencil icon to name the view and can go back to the pencil edit to use my current layout as a template and save this as a new layout. I can then head up to the switch button where I can manage these views with switching to the first layout, updating the existing layout, or deleting the layout. Let's take a look at the real-time report feature icons. Starting with the pop-out window, we can isolate a report into a standalone window which can be resized to your needs. Next is a feature that allows you to broadcast a message to queue members. This will appear on Agent's MyHUD application. The next icon pertains to queue reports. Let's take a look by clicking on the report icon. Here we've been taken to the reporting and audit menu. It displays a queue summary of the queue that we clicked on, where we can further drill down into the metrics of the queue, as well as schedule a report or download a CSV copy of the results. Let's head back. The alert icon is used to configure various triggers and will notify you via browser pop-up or even by email when the conditions are met. The alert conditions can be enabled with desired thresholds as needed. The next icon is Edit and will navigate you to that specific queue's configuration page, essentially taking you to the Manage Queues section, which we'll cover next. Next we have Expand and Collapse. The data seen here is the same as the pop-out window feature, but displays the data in page. On the left, we have Quick Stats, which consists of amount of callers on hold, the amount of calls that were abandoned, and the percentage of all calls it represents, completed calls with overall percentage, ESA or estimated speed of answer, number of calls that met your service level agreement or SLA, and lastly, the average talk time of the queue. Below that, we have the total agents available versus logged in, the total agents that are members of the queue, and lastly, the sum of callers waiting in the queue for an agent. The adjacent two sections display the agent details such as their name, login status, availability, and average talk duration. The last feature set we'll look at appears when clicking on an agent's name under any login status. Full agent details appear with their name, extension number, email, and site association. With the proper permissions, you can also change this user to a permanent login state, as well as view their queue status and log in the agent. If clicking the agent name under logged in, this option will change to logout, allowing you to select a logout reason. Be sure to save any changes by heading back to Switch and clicking Update on the current view. Now that we understand agent and queue monitoring in the real-time monitor, we can explore queue management. Queue management, as you may expect, is where we can create and edit queue settings. The at-a-glance overview page of queues and their settings gives you the most general need-to-know information about the queues. This includes the queue name, the ring strategy, whether autofill is enabled or disabled, the queue priority, wrap-up time, and the retry seconds for when the queue call is not answered within the specified time. From here, we can also add additional logout reasons, as we saw in the agent example in real-time monitor, by heading up to Add Logout Reasons, where we can add a new logout reason or edit an existing one or even remove one. For reports that contain logout reasons under Reporting and Audit, you can use Agent Status Report Type under Queue Reports, Queue Logs. We'll get to reporting in another video. Now let's head over to the Queue Create button, where we can get started with queue creation basics. I'll demonstrate the queue configurations in a general fashion, as you can view the help icon next to each setting for a more detailed explanation of any particular setting. Starting with the basics, we can set the queue name, as well as a queue priority, with the higher number being the highest priority. When there's a limited amount of agents available, the queues with higher priority will be filled first. Max holders, meaning the maximum number of callers allowed in the queue, and the SLA timer, which is used in stats to reference the calls treated within that time frame. The default ring strategy is ring all, meaning ring all available agents at the same time, except when agents are marked as higher priority. Those users will receive calls before lower priority agents. Hover over the help icon to read about other strategy types in greater detail. If a queued call goes unanswered, the try calling again setting depicts when the system will reattempt to ring the agents in the queue. Autofill will send a call to each agent per the ring strategy when turned on. When fill is toggled off, the system will attempt to find an agent for the longest held call in the queue before moving on to another call in top-down fashion. The next few options are related to auto answer, which connects calls to available agents instead of ringing them first to manually accept the call, which is default behavior. The auto answer prompt will play to the agent who receives the call, so they know they're getting a queued call before accepting. The agent settings automate some default agent behavior. The only required field here is the wrap-up time, which dictates how long after the last call the system will wait to send another call to that agent. Then, caller voice prompts set the queue announcements and hold time audio indicators when enabled. If custom prompts are not set here, the system defaults will be used. To enable queue announcements, first set the frequency for which announcements will be repeated. The periodic estimated hold time is a familiar queue reminder that updates customers' queue position periodically, with estimates being taken from the average queue call length. The remaining customizable prompts pertain to the caller number, hold times and duration, and the prompt thanking the caller for staying on hold. Now that we've created a call queue, we'll be taken to the queue's overview, where we can reference the queue and its basic configurations. Under the Manage Queues details, you'll find the ring strategy and configuration settings that we covered in the initial queue setup. Under that, we have Queue Membership Management. Manage queue membership by clicking the Add Users button. Click on the agents that will be members of the queue, and click Add Users when done, which gives us additional settings such as skipping the agent, permanently logging the agent in, the ring seconds for that agent, and their priority that we touched on earlier. Note that if you attempt to add a user to a queue and the user does not appear in the list of available users, it's likely that that user hasn't been assigned a call center license. In this case, you can go to the user's profile or to the licenses page to assign the user a call center license, provided an open license is available. Next, Roles and Permissions shows a list of the user roles that give permissions to this queue for all agents assigned the listed role. If additional roles are assigned to users outside of the queue that are more permissible or restricted, those will override the queue roles and permissions as they take precedence. Queue supervisors can be added to give managers additional queue privileges, such as login status of users, as well as whisper and barge. Click Edit Info, Assign Users. To be designated as a supervisor, the user must already have a call center manager license in addition to the supervisor role. The Queue Stats and Alerts Reset enables admins to define queue-related triggers by setting thresholds, and when met, will email the alert. Let's set up an alert to trigger when there aren't enough available agents in a queue to handle our expected call volume. Let's add a queue stat. Clicking the directional arrows moves a stat either to the disabled column or the enabled column. The toggle switch, however, in front of the stat, enables or disables the trigger after it's been assigned as an alert. From here, we can configure the threshold for the alert by specifying what is considered not enough agents, which I'll set to 5. Then I can set my address for email notifications. And the automated queue stats reset, telling the system when to reset the statistics for the alert. Be sure to click Save Changes before exiting. Now that we've grasped creating and managing call queues, let's take a look at managing queue recordings. The queue recording section layout consists of the agent name, their extension, current recordings count, whether call recording is enabled for the user, and the scribe toggle, which will enable call transcriptions. To make agents or users eligible for call recording, click the Manage Users button. Manage the user by clicking on the checkbox and enabling or disabling recording. You can see here that the user is now eligible for recording should we enable the Record Calls toggle button. Under Actions, we can view all of the current agent recordings. Each line item consists of a timestamp, the caller phone number, queue name, recording length, and the recording playback tool with download capabilities. You can expand the recording, which reveals the download and playback speed options. We've also added some new AI-powered features into call recording, which includes the transcription feature that we saw on the previous screen. When Scribe is enabled, a sentiment will be assigned to the call recording, denoting whether the conversation was overall positive, neutral, or negative. Under Actions, we can view the transcribed call in full detail. The conversation summary will show at the top, while the full conversation interaction will be displayed in text format, showing the caller and callee sides of the conversation, and the determined sentiment for each spoken phrase or sentence. Note that to enable transcription and sentiment, you'll need an add-on license. That'll do it for queue recordings and for the call center configuration menu in Community. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video.